This is Ciaran Gibbons for Seconds Out. I'm delighted to be joined by former world champion Lee Selby. Great to see you, Lee.
Nice one. All good, all good. Looking forward to the main events, Joe Cordina, and also my good friend Gavin Gwynn. He's up next.
Joe Cordina, you shared a gym with him in St. Joe's. Yeah. What can you tell us about him that perhaps some fans won't know?
We've sparred hundreds of rounds together in the gym. He's a very, very good boxer, and he's showing that he can punch now as well. He got a great amateur background, which will hold him in good stead when he comes up against this guy now in about an hour's time.
And another fight you know very well who's in action tonight, Gavin Gwynn. Shared a gym with him, no doubt sparred hundreds of, not thousands of rounds with him.
That's it. We've sparred thousands of rounds together. We've travelled out to America on a couple of occasions sparring as well. I know him inside out. He's a consummate professional, dedicated, trains hard, and he's a family man, and he's a nice guy to go with it.
In about 4 or 5 hours' time, a massive fight is taking place in the United States of America. Yeah. Tank Davis against Ryan Garcia. What's your thoughts on that contest?
I think it's a great fight, and if you're asking for a prediction, I see the fight panning out like this. I see Ryan Garcia outboxing him with his speed and his height and his range until Tank lands that equalizer. And like you look at Tank Davis's previous fights, they're not like completely one-sided. He don't dominate the fight during the fight. It's quite competitive until he lands that big shot and then it's lights out. And I see this fight going the same way.
Is there a danger with Tank that he just doesn't throw enough punches, and against a big, tall, rangy fighter like Garcia, he might be chasing the fight?
I think he throws a lot of punches, but in the process of trying to land that big one, he gets caught a lot. And against someone like Ryan Garcia who can punch, he's super fast. You can't really take a lot of shots by him.
And I know you're involved in amateur boxing now, Lee. Do you want to tell us about that?
So, both amateur and pro. So I'm in Gavin Gwynn's corner tonight. I've got my British Boxing Board Control Pro Trainer's license, and I've done my amateur, the WABA amateur license. So I've got a few amateurs I've been training with, and a few pros. One of the pros is Joe Morgan, who's one of the world's hottest prospects. And it's a shame that he's not fighting tonight, really, so he can showcase his talent.
What do some of the amateur boxers who see you at some of these shows react? I mean, they must be very surprised to see a former world champion in the corner.
Yeah, well, to be honest, if I was boxing as an amateur and I seen a former pro and world champion in the opposite corner, it'd be a bit frightening. You know, you think you're up against a great fighter, but that isn't always the case with the boxers. And again, here now at the pro show, they've received me very well. Loads of fans have come up to me asking for photos and autographs and stuff, and it's great that they appreciate the hard work I give to the sport, because I literally dedicated my life to the sport. Nothing else. It was just boxing my whole life.
When you were boxing, you always wanted the best fights, and you wanted to go all over the world to get them. Why aren't these big fights happening in boxing, especially like in the heavyweight division?
There's a lot of politics in boxing, and there always has been. We're like different networks, and different promoters don't work with each other. But at the end of the day, it's about the fighters, not the networks or the promoters. So if the two fighters really want to fight, they should get it on. I know I would never, being a boxer myself, I'd never duck a fighter, and I don't think either of these fighters are ducking each other. I think it's the people that control the boxing, the promoters and the managers.
Since you've retired from the sport, have you been tempted to come back? I mean, boxing's notorious for fighters retiring and then come back in a couple of years' time. Have you been tempted?
No. So the reason I did retire, because I could go in the gym now and I could box these now, and I'd do great. But at the highest level, the very top, I'll come second best, mainly due to my age. You know, the last guy I boxed was like 10 years younger than me. He wasn't great. In my prime, I would have beat him handily. And the guy before that, George Cambosis Jr., he was like 6 or 7 years younger. And again, in my prime, I would have done him handily, I think. But that was the reason why I come out of the sport, and I intend staying retired, unless one of these YouTubers or a lot of money's offered to me, then I'm game. I'm a businessman. If it makes money, it makes sense.
So if you decided to have a YouTube fight, which celebrity would you pick to fight?
You. No, it's okay.
That won't be much of a fight, Lee.
One that can't fight, hopefully.
And what's your prediction for Joe Joyce last week? Bit of an upset loss. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
It was an upset, but like these heavyweights, they can all punch and they all do damage with every shot. And at the moment, there's no apart from Fury's sort of like the standout. But other than that, they're all like level. Like you see Usyk fight Chisora, they want a lot in it, and like that's the same with all the heavyweights. Well, that's the same with most boxers in most divisions. There's not that one standout fighter in any division, I don't find.
And if Fury had fought Usyk, like was rumoured to be happening, how do you think that fight would have gone?
It's a difficult one, and like to predict any boxing match outcome, it's just like just guessing really. Until they're in the ring actually fighting, you never know the outcome, because not even the punches land. You could twist your ankle, you could get cut, anything can happen to determine the result. But how I'd see the fight planning out, I'd think Fury might struggle with Usyk's speed, and Usyk could struggle with the size. I don't know. I couldn't pick a winner, to be honest. It's difficult.
Okay, Lee, I'll leave you go and get back to working with Gavin Gwynn, warming up for his big fight, and good luck for the future, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much.